I never look forward to Friday or dread Monday because my work is not a thing I suffer. My work is not merely my source of income. It's a source of meaning and joy. I had a client recently who was really struggling in her job. I mean, she really was suffering and was unhappy. And I will tell you that job satisfaction in this country is pretty low, actually. And her father said to her, you know, if you like your job 50% of the time, then that's pretty good. And I don't think he was a horrible person. I don't think that this is something that he said casually. I think it's something he truly believed, because culturally, that's kind of what we all believe, that work is exactly that. It's work. And somehow along the way, we've gotten this idea that it has to be drudgery. And I really come from a very different space when it comes to that. One of the things that has happened to me, coming from a culture of poverty, is that for a long time, you know, you worked to survive. You worked for money. You worked to put food on the table. And those are very impressive, important, noble things. My mother did that her entire working life, and you could not find somebody more proud than I am of the fact that my mother was able to do that independently. And it was very hard. But I think that I took that messaging and believed for a long time that that's what work was, that it was something you did merely to earn money, to sustain yourself, that it could not be attached to joy or purpose or meaning. And here's what we know. We now know that purpose, in terms of when it's tied to work, is really what taps into your joy, your satisfaction, and for companies, people's productivity, believe it or not. It is deeply tied to the bottom line. This is incredibly important for us to all know, even as individuals. This thing that it's like this squishy thing that's really relegated to the privileged few is just not true. I think you can really thoughtfully craft a life to earn a meaningful living and really be able to do this in a way with integrity that also taps into your purpose and your joy. I am a living example of that, and so are those who I've worked with intimately. So when you hear all of your own internal messaging that you have to stay at this job, you have to do this work, I've been really fortunate. We've gotten some absolutely beautiful letters from people you know, in different parts of the country who've emailed and said, you know, I read this or I listened to this video, and over the next 3 months I sort of built my own company and I left this horrible job that was really killing me and I was struggling. And one of the things I tell people is, when you stay on this path of, hey, I'm stuck in this job just to make money, it is really hard to be your best and highest self. It's hard to be the best spouse to your mate. It's hard to be the best parent to your children. So for me, this idea of tapping into joy and meaning, it actually serves everyone around me. I am my best self. And I also think that I'm doing work that serves people rather than work that I'm just sort of collecting money for. And let me be clear to you, there were certainly times that people offered me very lucrative jobs, and I could have just worked for money and it would have served me. But I don't think it really would have completely exploited my gifts and talents, and I don't think it would have tapped into my purpose or joy. And I think it would have kind of broken my heart a little bit. So for those of you who are watching today and are in this place where they just feel like they're working for money, you know, money is a poor motivator. Working for your purpose and working for your joy is the thing that will really get you to a place where you're delivering your greatest contribution to the world. And that's really what I want to do for all of you. Yes, it's about sustainability and money. There's no question of that. It is for me, it is for you as well. And I'm not naive about that or precious about that. But I also think that you have a right to actually do work you love. You have a right to work with people that you actually care about. We are extremely fortunate. We're a very tiny group. Lynn is behind the camera right now, and we have Veronica and Michelle and Leah who writes for us. And we have these great people, and we're really lucky that we all care deeply about the work we're doing and deeply about one another. And I want the same for you. So really, in terms of tapping into your joy, if you're doing that work, congratulations. And help others to find their own path, because I think that that's incredibly significant and important. And for those of you who are really struggling, just take this time to sit with yourself and imagine if failure were not an option, if you were fearless, absolutely fearless, what would you pursue right now? That's my question, just that. And I want you to write that down and sit with that. You don't have to do anything about it, but I want you to know that about yourself, because once you know that about yourself, it might change your future decisions.